The tragedy of Nigeria began in 1986 when we did the structural adjustment program. When we were persuaded to devalue our currency every week for 32 years. When I went to school, and many of you are here, the naira was $1.50. The naira was almost £1 sterling. They came here, persuaded some brilliant men from Harvard and the World Bank that weekly devaluation was wonderful. 32 years of devaluing your currency until we hit 527. And they were still telling us that the naira was still overvalued. That brought poverty, misery upon us. Then interest rates went to 30%. So nobody could build a factory, start a farm, produce anything, or create jobs. Because every time you bring in a shipload of rice, you also bring in a shipload of unemployment. Because you are transferring your wealth to sustain other economies. Somehow, Nigerians didn't notice it. So we became a nation of importers. Toothpicks. Toothpicks. Each year it cost us $18 million. Importing toothpicks. Tomato paste, $400 million. So you talked about tomatoes now. One basket in town now is less than 2,000 naira. The farmers are losing money because the processors don't have enough funds to set up factories. You are going to do tomato paste, it's food-grade stainless steel. You can't just use anything because you'll be putting poison in people's stomachs. 2 factories have started off. I believe by the middle of next year, we can comfortably tell importers of tomato paste to stop. But when you do, you make enemies. Even the rice we're trying to reduce, we have enemies, heavy enemies, people who can kill if they have a chance, because you're spoiling their business. And let nobody take it lightly. These guys have seized this country's economy, they've taken us hostage, and they have no intention of giving up. Because this is a huge market, a very sweet market, and they have taken control. This regime is unpopular in part because it is trying to cut down imports and transfer the wealth to our rural people. And I'm saying it because I have been in this business for 41 years and I can tell you some history. Abdullah Adamu is here. Import milk, sugar, toothpicks, toothpaste, handkerchiefs, pencils. We don't make. To cure Nigerians of that malady will take a while. It will take a strong government. That's the truth. And they're not happy that we're cutting down. When we cut down, they lose money there. So you see all sorts of publications. We're telling lies. We're not growing rice. We're trying to demoralize the local farmers and make sure that the economy fails. That's the story of imports. Now, I read a story recently in the newspapers. The French ambassador, the champagne ambassador in Nigeria, gave an article to The Guardian. He said Nigerians love life. We are the biggest consumers of champagne on planet Earth, more than the French who make it. There are parties you attend in some places where the only drink is champagne. Of course, the individual is free to spend his money, but his money comes from Nigeria's commonwealth. So on imports, it will take a while for us to get used to local goods and accept that we should consume what we produce and produce what we want to consume. I take your point. We have to take stern measures to cut down on imports because these young boys and girls who have no jobs today are not going to allow us to carry on enjoying life at their expense. They need jobs. They need jobs. They are children. They've graduated, they've come back home to begin a second childhood because there's no factory to employ them. And the ministries can't take any more. But somebody is making sure you fail when you want to produce at home.
So, fellow Africans and the diaspora, let us celebrate our hero, President John Paul Magufuli of Tanzania, after cancels this US dollar 10 billion Chinese loan. It is not easy. It is a great decision. We need the leaders in Africa like President John Paul Magufuli. I know there are some leaders who are doing very well, but President John Paul Magufuli is doing the best. We need African and diaspora to support him, to protect him. You know what? When I look at this clip, I enjoy something. While we are importing fish from China, the President John Paul Magufuli is teaching us how to fish or how to find the fish in our lake. Many of us, we know that we are eating fish from China, while we have lakes here in Africa. We have Lake Victoria, Lake Nyasa, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Turkana, and so on. But we are importing fish from China. But President John Paul Magufuli is still teaching us, instead of going and importing fish, let us do fishing here in our environment. So fellow Africans, always, and I will repeat today, the reader always think about the next generation to come, but a politician always think about next election. That's the difference. That's the big difference. So I think President John Paul Magufuli is not a politician, he is a leader. He think about next generation. And he said that only a drunkard would accept these terms, bad terms. If it is another reader, he can accept this bad or stupid term, and that is going to kill the nation. But President, His Excellency President John Paul Magufuli, we congratulate you, we as young Africans and Africans in general, and I beg other diaspora to share this good information that Africa, we have a good leader, we have an hero now.
What is happening here, and I will speak about it bluntly, and let me make this revelation to you. The Inspector General, the PS, and myself have been under pressure by some quangles and all manner of spies that we should import police uniform. Listen to me very carefully. We will not import police uniform. Go and write another 10 headlines. We will not import police uniform from any country. We have to promote the local textile industry. Buy Kenya, build Kenya. How are we going to support our cotton farmers? How are we going to support our manufacturers and create jobs in our country? You know, this monkey business that has been going on for a period of time, we go to some shadowy corners and agree to import police uniform from some places and create excuses that isn't it simply outrageous that someone is saying we don't have material in Kenya? We have no problem providing our police with uniforms. We have actually paid for the new uniforms, and the new uniforms are being done. I asked the Principal Secretary in charge of the State Department of Interior, Dr. Kibicho, who chairs the technical team on the police reforms, to move around the country and look at the capacities we have in our factories, in our textile sector. He has visited Rivertex in Eldoret. He was in Nakuru yesterday. We have gone even to the EBZ zone. What is happening here, and I will speak about it bluntly, and let me make this revelation to you. The Inspector General, the PS, and myself have been under pressure by some quangles and all manner of spies that we should import police uniform. Listen to me very carefully. We will not import police uniform. Go and write another 10 headlines. We will not import police uniform from any country. We have to promote the local textile industry. Buy Kenya, build Kenya. How are we going to support our cotton farmers? How are we going to support our manufacturers and create jobs in our country? You know, this monkey business that has been going on for a period of time, we go to some shadowy corners and agree to import police uniform from some places and create excuses that isn't it simply outrageous that someone is saying we don't have material in Kenya with the kind of textile sector that we have? So why would the government put budget resources to revive Rivertex and provide jobs in Eldoret? Then we proceed like fools the following day to import police uniforms from Turkey or from China or from wherever. We have already paid. We are making uniform for our police, and take it to the bank from me. We will not import uniform. No amount of pressure, manipulation, or anything will change that position. That style of life has come to an end in Kenya. It has come to an end, and no one is going to live that way. Our uniforms will be made. We have 600 tailors at NYS and huge teams at NYS that are working on this. We'll make the uniforms for our forces in Kenya, create jobs for our people in Kenya, allow manufacturers in Kenya to supply government agencies. Sasa wewe na wakora wako mahali mlikubaliana mtanunua uniform, utaenda uwaeleze hivi, hatutanunua uniform kutoka kwingine. It's as simple as that, and you can write as many headlines as you want. We will not change that position. Na tuwache kudanganyana hapa. Hii ujeuri must come to an end in this country. Hii sasa unaenda huko, we will not do this kind of silly things that people have done over the years and try to mess up our country. We will ensure that everything that we need, that we can get in the country, we get it here. That is how we grow our industry. That is how we support our cotton farmers. That's how we support the manufacturing sector. The private sector understands what we are doing. Our president has been firm on this and has been speaking about this. So we can't live any other way. So if you thought that the headline is going to